It's been almost 2 years since the Moza KS shook up the sim racing world with its insane value at just $279. But in 2025, with more competition than ever before, is this still the king of budget wheels, or is it time to move on? At just $279, the KS still packs an impressive set of features that justify the praise it's earned since launch. At first glance, the RGB buttons and rev lights may just seem like gimmicks, but they're surprisingly useful. You can color code key controls like the DRS, pit limiter, or brake bias, and thanks to Moza's software, you can tweak every light to your preference. These RGB buttons have a fantastic and satisfying click to them as well, with the included sticker kit allowing you to place a variety of different button layouts to suit your needs. These buttons are scattered across the KS's surprisingly sturdy, predominantly plastic build, with a really slick looking faux carbon finish, which is pretty decent, but a little bit controversial in the sim racing community and still doesn't hold a candle to some of Moza's more expensive wheel rims. Turning around to the back of the KS wheel rim, you'll find two all-metal magnetic paddle shifters that sound like this, with a really nice and positive actuation as you shift up or down, with a feeling in between that of a cheaper wheel like the ES and a more expensive wheel like the FSR2 or Formula V 2.5 with the podium upgrade from Fanatec, with a pair of also metal clutch paddles directly underneath. There isn't anything special about these clutch paddles. They function and have a much larger travel than that of the shifter paddles. And then, of course, Moza's fantastic all-metal quick release that I've praised plenty in the past, as well as this RJ12 looking connector directly underneath, used to connect this wheel rim to third-party wheelbases using Moza's $40 adapter. Now, the KS wheel rim is 300mm in diameter, close to what real-life GT3 cars use, with nice and comfy TPE rubber grips that kept my hands cool during the scariest of Monza T1s. Two thumb encoders sit right under your thumbs, perfect for brake bias and fuel mix tweaks mid-race. As well as this, there are plenty of rotary dials and encoders scattered around the KS for changing functions like the traction control and ABS. Every dial and rotary encoder has a satisfying click when changing position, with a nice ribbed design, allowing you to grip these dials really nicely while driving, with or without gloves. From the molded grips to the general placement of everything on the wheel, Moza have clearly put a lot of thought into the ergonomics of this wheel, and it shows. As for the KS's looks, some say it has a face only a mother could love, whereas others, like myself, don't mind it all that much. While there are definitely prettier options out there for the same price, it definitely depends on your personal preference. I will say though that in person this looks way better than online, and especially in good lighting, so take that as you will. And the physical wheel rim itself isn't the only thing Moza has gotten right, as Moza's Pithouse software is also superb. Remember those RGB buttons we mentioned earlier? They shine even more when paired with Moza's brilliant Pithouse software, allowing you to not only change all of the RGB rev light colors, but also allow you to say, change the functions of the clutch paddles or the presets of the lights to the TCS and ABS warning lights. But truth be told, the main benefit is how well it integrates with all of your other Moza peripherals. My only gripe is the fact that when you try to use Moza's bite point clutch setting, not only on this wheel rim, iRacing specifically doesn't pick up either of the clutches. Not a huge deal though, as you might imagine. What is a huge deal, however, is subscribing to SimPulse. It's 100% free, takes literally 1 second to do, and helps me get more reviews going on this channel. And we're so close to 1,000 subscribers, so any help is appreciated. Thank you. But bright lights and a nice click aren't enough. So how does it actually drive out on circuit? Well, to start, the KS never made me feel like I was driving a necessarily cheap wheel rim, or like I was driving a more budget-oriented peripheral. In comparison to both first-party and third-party wheel rim upgrades for the ES wheel rim, Moza's most budget wheel, this has a lot more going for it. Instead of just having a cheap upgrade with the same buttons and functionality as a normal ES, you instead get a proper steering wheel with backlit buttons, magnetic paddle shifters, and a way better finish. And despite going through a recent heatwave in the UK, while racing, I barely ever felt my hands getting warm thanks to the, once again, molded TPE rubber grips, which I honestly prefer prefer over the FSR2's leather. Now, while I do still prefer the Artura GT4 and sports grips over both of those as they're way squishier, larger at the palms of your hands and grippier, those two wheel rims left a really nasty residue behind, whereas the KS does not, thanks to its less grippy finish, and thanks to not only the grips but also the general size and ergonomics, this wheel has felt pretty great to drive in a variety of cars out on circuit. From your standard GT3 to GT4 to TCR, old prototypes, and even modern GTPs, the KS has felt amazing. Another fantastic perk I've noticed over the last 3 months of usage is that even on my older and significantly less powerful Moza R5, this wheel rim still managed to provide crystal clear force feedback despite the less torque, thanks to its fully plastic construction. And when I did get my hands on my new favorite wheelbase, my Moza R12, which I'll have a review on soon, so stay subscribed for that, the feedback was even crisper and clearer, thanks to the extra power that the R12 had. So, with everything considered, is this wheel a good investment, and should you pick one up for the foreseeable future? Well, in my opinion, this wheel is an absolute no-brainer if you're in the Moza ecosystem. From its fantastic construction to great aesthetics to fantastic ecosystem, the Moza KS is a fantastic buy, despite recent competition and especially because of its fantastic price tag. This is definitely a wheel I'll keep using in the near future. Bye-bye.